From the GSI New Media Team in the
From the
region,
GSI New Media Team in the regions.
this is the Monthly Wrap.
Good day! We are summing up the events for the past month in this edition of Month End Wrap. July was a challenging but a rewarding month for all of us, Guild Solutions Inc. At the beginning of the month, we opened the company while sitting in the comfort of our own homes. Our Managing Director, Mario Peroni, and Ian Moses, our President and CEO, welcomed all of us. Boxes of company items arrived in our doorsteps. Due to the ongoing quarantine, management sent us our corporate items including our lanyards, corporate IDs, computers, and other collaterals like shirts and jackets. Even while working from home, we were able to work at full capacity. Very minimal outages due to domestic internet issues and client-related software issues were encountered. In fact, overall, we delivered an output that is estimated to be between 5 to 10% higher same time last year. Well done, team! From Selfies of the Week to many other activities, we fill the month of July with memories that surely help us survive the ongoing quarantine. We also launched the Weekend Review and Hyperlocal. We produced 7 episodes so far, with more to come this August. But the most memorable of all was the arrival of goodies in our own homes. In lieu of our end of financial year party, grocery bags and sacks of rice literally came to our doorsteps. Lastly, our social media presence was welcomed by netizens with open arms. We ended the month with more than 4,000 followers across 2 social media platforms. July is indeed a month to remember, and that's it for this month's wrap. For more news and information about us, visit our website at guildsolutionsinc.com.au. You can also like us on Facebook and follow us on LinkedIn via the social media handles you are seeing on your screen. My name is Malen. Thanks for watching. Keep safe and have a blessed weekend.
Ang sakit na COVID-19 ay sanhi ng virus na SARS-CoV-2. Ang mga virus, di tulad ng mga bakterya, ay hindi buhay at kumakalat lamang sa pamamagitan ng pagpasok sa isang host. Sa pagkakataong ito, tayong mga tao. Ang virus na SARS-CoV-2 ay kabilang sa pamilya ng mga virus na nagdudulot ng simpleng sipon hanggang sa mga malalalang sakit na tulad ng COVID-19. Kumakalat ito sa pamamagitan ng droplets o mga maliliit na liquid na lumalabas sa ating katawan na naipapasa naman sa ibang tao. Maaari natin itong mahawakan at maipasok sa ating mga katawan sa pamamagitan ng ating mga mata o bibig. Pinagsusuot tayo ng face mask at face shield upang maiwasang maipasa ang mga droplets na ito sa ibang tao. Malaki ang maitutulong ng pagsuot ng mga mask at face shield upang mapabagal ang pagkalat ng COVID-19. Maraming lumalabas na mga komento sa social media na gawa-gawa lamang ang sakit na ito. Mayroon din namang mga nagsasabing nahatsing lamang ay COVID-19 na agad. Ang mga ito ay mga maling impormasyon. Hindi totoo ang mga ito. Dumadaan sa maigting na proseso ang pag-alam kung may COVID-19 ang isang tao. Maraming nagkakaroon ng COVID-19 na asymptomatic o walang nararamdamang sintomas. Mayroon ding mga nakakaranas ng kaunting sintomas mayroon ding mga nagkakaroon ng malubhang karamdaman. Ang ilan naman ay hindi pinapalad at nasasawi, lalo na ang mga may komplikasyon sa ibang karamdamang nakapagpapalala ng sakit o tinatawag na comorbidity.
Huwag po tayong sumali sa mga taong nagpapakalat ng maling impormasyon o ginagawang katatawanan ng sakit na COVID-19 bilang pakikiisa at pagdamay sa libu-libong nawalan ng ama, ina, asawa, kapatid at mga kaibigan sa buong mundo. Kailangan po nating seryosohin ang laban sa sakit na ito. Para sa iba pang impormasyon tungkol sa COVID-19 at sa coronavirus na SARS-CoV-2, makipag-ugnayan sa DOH o sa inyong espesyalista.
Thought Leaders with Krupa is brought to you by Guild Solutions Inc. Email us at enablingyou@guildsolutionsinc.com.au to find how we can help augment your business needs. And Enabling Media, enabling content through new media. Email us at makethingshappen@guildsolutionsinc.com.au for your social media and virtual event management needs. Hello and good day to all of you, to our viewers watching from Australia. Good afternoon. To all of you who are watching us in North America, good evening. And to all our viewers here at home and in Asia, good morning. 2 weeks ago, we started our first edition of Thought Leaders with our special guest, Nick Filebsky. Nick walked us through how Guild's learning strategies evolved throughout the pandemic. You can watch the previous episode of Thought Leaders or stream on Spotify. For more learning sessions, job opportunities, and news about the company, please follow us on our official social media properties. Throughout March, we will be featuring Women in Guild. As we celebrate International Women's Month, we will be showcasing the talents, skills, and passion of the women behind the successes of the company. Today, we will be speaking with Krupa and discover how important it is to stay glued to your goals and attain success. This episode of Thought Leaders is made possible by Guild Super, Guild Solutions Inc., and Enabling Media. For our viewers in the Philippines, we will be flashing information on your screens on how to request for a certificate of attendance throughout this event. To avoid distraction and ensure maximum participation, the form will be made active at certain times of this event, so please watch out for announcement. Joining me in moderating today's shows are my co-moderators Kim, Micah, and Pancho. We're seeing some activity on our social media, and let's greet everyone first. From our Facebook page, we would like to say good morning to Angela Jane Pagsolingan, and from Valenzuela City, and Maria Karamit. Good morning, guys. Welcome to our live. To Aram Jesse Pablo, also from the Philippines, Russell Casiano. Good morning. And Cici Aquino Abera. That's it for now. If you have questions regarding the show or if you have questions directly for our guests, don't forget to type them in. We're streaming live on Facebook, YouTube, and LinkedIn. Jel?
Hey, Malin, good morning. Thank you for moderating today's show. Good morning to everyone who is watching us. Joining us today, before we transition to the main show, I would just like to introduce our head of operations, Ray Cabe. Hello, Ray.
Hello.
Hey, Ray.
Hi. How are
All right.
you?
Okay, I hope everybody can hear Ray because I'm hearing him. All right, we just have this small contest in the company, and this is not for everyone, but Ray is going to ask a question to all of you who are not to all of you, but to our team for our Thinkathon. And this is today's question. Go ahead, Ray.
Okay, for today's question. There is this strait in Australia which has been inhabited for more than 2,500 years, or possibly much longer. Their inhabitants are primarily Melanesian in ethnicity. It is named after a Spanish navigator who sailed in the strait in 1606. So here's the question. What is the name of this strait that is found on the northernmost part of the Australian mainland? For our team, follow the usual instruction on how to send your entries. If you get this right, your team gets 1,000 points plus 200 if you are the first team to get it right. So don't forget to follow the instructions on how to submit your entries.
All right, thank you, Ray. I hope
Thank you, guys.
our teammates are listening, and I'm gonna hand this back over to Malin now. Malin,
Thank you.
still with us, Malin? All right, I'm not sure if Malin can hear us, but maybe that's it for now. We are now transitioning to the main show. You're watching Thought Leaders with Krupa.
Thought Leaders with Krupa is brought to you by Guild Solutions Inc. Email us at enablingyou@guildsolutionsinc.com.au to find how we can help augment your business needs. And Enabling Media, enabling content through new media. Email us at makethingshappen@guildsolutionsinc.com.au for your social media and virtual event management needs.
Hands up if you want to retire richer. You go shopping, don't you? You like to save money? Super! That's exactly what Super Super is. Shopping plus savings equals super super. At Super Super, you get rewarded straight into your superannuation account. So instead of getting all these random points that you're probably never going to use, at Super Super, when you shop, you get money rewards that go straight into your superannuation account. For example, if you spend $100 at the grocery store, an additional $5 will be added to your superannuation account without you having to spend anything extra than that original $100. It sounds too good to be true, but it's not. Over time, your super balance grows every time you shop. Here's how it works. 1, sign up at our website. 2, select the vouchers that you want to purchase or the retailers that you want to shop with online. 3, pay using money that you've transferred into your My Cash account in Super Super, by credit or by debit card. 4, go shopping. 5, watch your Super Super rewards grow in your Super Super account. Shop and save more to your super every day with Super Super.
Shop it up and top it up. Shop, save, super. Super, super. Super, super. Shop it up and top it up. Shop, save, super. Super, super. Super, super.
Previously on Lods.
How are you?
We got to know more about Belle,
So good to see you again. And hello to everyone. Good
how she
morning.
conquered the biggest names in the tech industry,
Like, I was doing interviews like at Facebook then, like, and I saw a job ad on LinkedIn for a PR manager at Spotify. And because, music has been such a big part of my life growing up, music and writing in particular. And so I've been watching Spotify like since they've been, like launched globally. And I was very, very curious about when they would be available in Asia. So when
What kept her going against all odds.
And so like from then on, like as the eldest person in the family, I've had to assume like a more like grown up, like out, right? Like I had to grow up overnight.
Watch the full episode on our YouTube channel or stream the podcast version on Spotify. This and other inspiring stories and learning events only here on Enabling Media, enabling content through new media.
Hi, I'm Ian. Welcome to Guild Solutions. Guild Solutions is a wholly owned subsidiary of the Guild Group of companies based in Australia. Guild Solutions itself is headquartered in Manila and offers bespoke solutions for companies that require unique or have challenging business needs. How do we do this? Simple. We hire the best people, we foster the best culture, and we give those people a new and interesting challenge every day to allow them to grow and develop and move on to bigger and better things. And for our clients, what this means, we don't see problems, we only see solutions. We think differently and we're proactive, and most importantly, we make things happen. And all the while we do this while having lots of fun. So that's a really quick snapshot of Guild Solutions. It's been great meeting you, and I look forward to seeing you again.
Thought Leaders with Krupa is brought to you by Guild Solutions Inc. Email us at enablingyou@guildsolutionsinc.com.au to find how we can help augment your business needs. And Enabling Media, enabling content through new media. Email us at makethingshappenat guildsolutionsinc.com.au for your social media and virtual event management needs.
Once again, good morning to all of you who are watching us here from home. For all of you who are watching us from Australia, good afternoon. And to all of our viewers from North America, good evening. My name is Jel, and welcome to another edition of Thought Leaders, where we feature our very own experts in Guild Group, sharing with us their knowledge and expertise. Every month, we will feature notable people with exemplary accomplishments. As we navigate today's VUCA world, it is necessary for us to draw inspiration from people who actually made it. This month, we will feature women in Guild, and today's special guest is a testament on how women can be goal-centric and very successful. She is currently serving as the acting head of strategy and operations in Guild Super and is responsible for the strategic initiatives, planning, and implementation of major initiatives for Guild Trustee services. Krupa has over 18 years of experience in the financial industry and has worked in both Australia and India. She has a degree in computing, mathematics, and statistics from Bangalore University and holds a Master of Finance from the Royal Melbourne Institute of Technology. After work, she can be seen running around the city as she enjoys running, after which Krupa lurks around restaurants as she's a self-confessed foodie. She also loves social hangouts with friends and colleagues, and dabbles in a bit of interior design in her spare time. Friends, without further ado, join me in welcoming our very own Krupa Steffanoni. Krupa, hey, how are you?
Hi, Jel. Thanks for that. It was a really nice, warm welcome. And hi, everybody. Nice to virtually meet you all.
Thanks for joining us today. How's
My
Melbourne?
pleasure. Melbourne's great today. It's looks like there's blue skies. Again, it can change at any point, but so far so good. It's been a good day.
All
Yeah.
right. It's nice to hear. Krupa, when we were going through your introduction, you seemed to like maths, which is very rare for most of the people on Earth. Usually we go away when we see a lot of numbers in front of us, but you seem to like it. Has it always been like that when you were little? Or since you were
Good
little?
pickup. Good pickup, Jel. Well, I actually feel like I've learned to love maths more so from when I was probably in high school, and I sort of attributed to a tutor I had who was actually quite lovely. So what she made sure she gave me was making sure that I understood concepts rather than trying to just solve a problem at hand. And that sort of really given me that sort of drive to, solve problems and come up with solutions in general. So yeah, but I do love maths and stats, and yeah, definitely a nerd if it comes to that.
Mm. What was childhood like, Krupa? Has it always been clear to you as you what you want to become when you grow up?
Um, well, not really. Jill. I think as all kids, I think, you grow up with lots of different interests, a lot of different ideas of what you think you might do. Actually, sometimes you probably don't even think about what you want to do in the future. But I do recall thinking, I probably want to be a lawyer because my parents would say, oh, you love arguing, you would be a good lawyer. Because every time I argued with them, they thought I'd make a good lawyer. So, but jokes aside, I think, yeah, like I said earlier, a few different interests, but nothing where I felt there was a bullseye view that I wanted to head in a particular direction.
hmm You mentioned earlier that when you met that teacher in high school who taught you about focusing on concepts in maths and all that,
Yeah.
was that the certain period of your life, Krupa, that it made clear to you as you what you want to become when you grow up, or were you still trying to figure out things at that stage in your life?
I think what I probably got through that sort of experience was making sure that I enjoyed what I did, which is, through understanding and solving things. But I still think that it was quite broad at the time for myself, like, oh, I could do this, I could do that. I don't think it was one aspect. I felt at that point probably was my oyster. So I think over time that sort of evolved as
hmm
to, different areas and different interests and where this has led me so far.
hmm Was life easy when you were little, Krupa?
Well, when you're a kid, you feel things are difficult. Now you look back and you're like, oh, I did have an easy life. But jokes aside, I'd say it's a pretty good life. So, growing up in India was obviously different from when I moved here, but there's a lot of freedom and a lot of things you do. You different again, not having social media. You play on the streets and you do
hmm
what other kids do. So yeah, no, it was a fun childhood, I'd say.
hmm If there are, growing up, there would be a lot of distractions in life, Krupa. Sometimes it presents you surprises and some challenges that you think would be difficult to overcome. How important is goal setting for you? Were there specific, things that you did that made you laser focused to what you want to achieve in life?
Um, well, I don't think there would be like one single point where I felt, no, this I need to follow this path. But just the personality I have, I'm pretty driven as to, I want to achieve something or I want to set a target and try and achieve it. So I think what I knew is what I love doing, which is generally learning new things, solving problems, again, trying to make things better as I went along. So whatever I got, I'd always try to make it better than when I first received it. And also just loved hanging out with people. I am extroverted, so I loved hanging out with people from like different backgrounds. So luckily, like throughout my working life, I feel I have been fortunate enough. I've sought it out, but I've also been lucky to have those opportunities where I've been able to sort of combine a few of my skills and few of my interests and sort of showcase them at work. So I think that's not addressing the goals part directly, but being able to set different goals, but not a specific goal. So yeah. And
When you graduate, oh, sorry, go ahead.
no, I was just gonna say, for me, I feel like goals are probably not like a fixed measure as such. I think they evolve. I find them now at this point in life that they're more flexible, so more like flexible goalposts, which allow you to guide your decision making and plan your future steps, and you've got something to look forward to. So that's, I guess, how I view goals as at the moment.
When you graduated straight up from college, Krupa, just to get you know, just for everybody to get to know you a little bit better, what was your first work, just out of genuine interest?
Well, you'd be interested to know when I first met you, Jel. This is now going back 2 years. I was so excited to meet you because my first job out of university when I was in Bangalore, in India, was also working for an offshore company for actually
Ah,
Australia. Had an offshore wing in Bangalore. So, there's a brand new team set up, quite similar to a lot of the stuff you guys do. So yeah, that was my first job working again. Somehow I landed in superannuation. I was doing administration work for pensions and superannuation. But Australia was my client, and fortunate enough to meet a few trainers and managers who came down for a few months to help us sort of transition as well. So yeah, that was my first job.
was that your motivation to move from, or at least pursue further studies in Australia?
Partly yes. So I think the back of my mind, I always thought I'd probably work for a few years and then pursue my master's overseas. That was always a bit of one of my childhood dreams. But I think the fact that I got an opportunity quite early on in my career at AXA, I managed to come here for a project. So I was sent here on a work assignment. Turns out it was a good time to come as well. So it was summer, it was February, everyone's out and about. It was a really nice first experience coming to Melbourne. So yeah, I think once I came here, I really enjoyed, the laid back sort of culture. Everyone's really hardworking, but it's a lot more laid back. And I thought, oh, maybe this is a good destination to come to study. So, and then a year later, I sort of packed up and moved here to do my master's.
Was it difficult to study on your own, Krupa? I mean, we're Asian, so we're
Yes, I
very
know.
family oriented.
Every
Every dinner time, everybody's there, gathering and talking about things and all that. And then suddenly you move to Australia, all of this disappeared. How did you deal with it?
Yeah, actually, that I think spot on, Jel. I think that was a pretty big transition for me. I think when you're younger, you're just excited about something new. But coming here, reality check that you're by yourself. You have a couple of friends, but I had no family. Moving here and having to start over, it was quite daunting at the start. I guess there's a few different aspects there. So even university, like moving here, there's a lot of autonomy. There's not a lot of structure which is given to you. You have to figure it out, which is quite different from sort of Asian culture, where a lot of things are pre-decided. I think for me, just sort of embracing that freedom and autonomy and being able to be independent, it was a good challenge. It was, mind you, it was really tough for the first, I'd say first 18 months or so. But then you find friends and you find people around you who you get along with, and then it somehow feels much better. But yeah, I was homesick for a long time.
And then you
missed a
graduated.
lot of the fun things.
I'm sure you did. You graduated from RMIT with a master's, and not everybody has the grit and fortitude to pursue that, Krupa. And I attribute that maybe to your upbringing and also to your personal desire to achieve your goals. Now, when you graduated, was it easy for you to look for your first job? How was it? How was job hunting for you in Australia?
Job hunting, look, I must admit, I probably had a bit of a different experience than most people because I had worked at AXA in Australia and in India. It was easy for me to be able to obtain a part-time job while I was studying. And then sort of transitioned into a full-time role. But yeah, once I finished, university, did my masters. Probably not the best time to graduate because it was the start of GFC. So
Oh,
looking for work in the financial services sector, and I wanted to sort of work within investments. It was a bit tricky, but I just think you need to be able to find. You always get your first your break, but it can take longer sometimes. You just need to find a manager who's willing to give you an opportunity or a chance on you and look at potential rather than just try to pigeonhole you into try and get work experience. So I was fortunate to be able to get that, but took a little while through sort of GFC.
but it's not different to our situation right now. I mean, economy is dire anywhere you go to in the world and all that.
Yeah.
So it must be a great accomplishment for you during that time to sustain work and all.
Yes.
Regarding your observations, Krupa, if you're going to observe, what would be the cultural maybe similarities or differences between India and Australia? How similar or how different are these countries, based from your observation?
Yeah. I think that was very good, very good discussion point, I guess. So I think one of the things I found quite early on is in India, like I guess it's more broadly within Asia. If you are in a workplace or anywhere where there's a sort of a seniority, whether it's by age or by sort of title, you as a younger person don't feel comfortable addressing something you may not feel comfortable with, or you might have a different idea from what's being showcased. I think that's very different in Australia. Australia, I feel everyone gets an equal say. You can, there's no right or wrong way of saying anything. If you have an opinion, you're more than able to express it in any forum, which is one of the big differences I found. And the other thing, Jel, as well, from moving, I think I mentioned earlier, just that whole structured approach in India. So even just going to university in India or just generally life, there's a lot of structure which comes with how you're supposed to work, on what context you can do things or what you can't. Whereas in Australia, like when to university, everything was very let's just say there's a lot of autonomy, but also autonomy brings, where you have to make decisions, and which means there's consequences. So yeah, that I would say was probably the biggest differences for myself.
Krupa, I failed to ask, what was your first work in Australia, in AXA Australia? Was it the same as the role you left in India?
Yes and no. So it's quite similar, but what I did is I worked on a bit of business analysis and process analysis to move it more work back offshore. So process mapping, but in a very similar context. So probably not the exact same work, but within the superannuation realm.
Was there something in the insurance or the superannuation industry that interests you most? I've noticed that ever since you got a taste of it, you seemed like to enjoy it and never left it.
Yeah, I did for a little while, and I feel like I've come back to it. So I did leave and go, and I did a bit of investments for a while. I worked in government, but then sort of ended up in super. So good observation again, Jel. But I think what I really like is the social construct of it, that everyone should have a good retirement. It shouldn't be based on, you shouldn't have to work till you're 80 or rely on the children or your extended family to provide for you. The fact that there's a sort of, you're a custodian for people's retirement, I think that in itself, I think is a really important social fabric. So being able to sort of contribute to that in a large way, I quite enjoy that.
I think some of our viewers might be interested as to what superannuation is, Krupa. In Asia, it might not be a very familiar concept. We know retirement funds and all that, but when I was going through the mere definition of superannuation, all the technicalities behind it, it's a little bit different. Would you be able to maybe just paint the picture to all of our viewers right now, how different or what is superannuation and how different it is from the usual retirement fund?
Sure. So I'll probably just give some context with maybe what I know about the Indian funds, Jel, and you can probably just tell me if it's similar to the Philippines model as well. So superannuation in general is where it's a retirement fund where your employer is obliged to contributing a certain percentage. So at the moment, it's about 9.5% of your wages, which is going to go up to 10%. 10% of your wages is contributed towards your retirement balances. And through that, the power of compounding, you've got that percent where you can take it and build it into the next 40 or 50 years of your working life, where it can, quadruple, and which allows you to have a comfortable retirement. So that's the overall concept. Now, through that, the obligation is more on the employer. So that's the legal aspect of it. Through the system, you can also contribute more if you'd like through tax effective means. You can also purchase life insurance through it. So there's multiple uses for it. And I think the biggest difference I see from being back in India, where it's called the Provident Fund, where again employers have to contribute. This is now you can invest it into it's like a normal fund. You would like a normal investment fund. So you could put it into like high growth or balanced options, which means your rate of returns are based on the risk you want to take and how what sort of balances you want to end up with when you retire. So yeah, the biggest difference I see in India and here is that India have a provident fund, but again, you're not investing it. It's probably just sitting in a cash pool as such. So sorry, Jel, I cut you off before. Yeah.
No, that's all right. It looks like you have control on how you want to invest it. Here in the Philippines, just for context, we have what we call the social security system. So a small portion of our salary is paid onto that, let's call it a fund. The employer contributes as well, just very small, but it's not as big as 10%. However, the returns are not as big as superannuation as well. You have no control as to how it will be invested. So normally what Filipinos do is we just get another insurance, life insurance provider of our own, who might have a different mode of investment, how to earn from it and things like that. But super seems to be a very interesting industry for you, Krupa. Can you explain to us, because there's a very interesting product in Super, which is called Super, which we featured at the early part of this show. It doesn't sound like you need to contribute to it. It's not ordinary. Can you tell us more about this product?
Sure. No, I saw the ad. I was very happy. I was like, oh, I haven't seen. By the way, the lady in the ad is called Tessa. So there's a bit of a joke. It's like, oh, Tessa around again. So So look, with Super, we're really proud to be one of the only funds who offer this sort of a solution. I mean, there's a few other funds who come up with the similar solutions over the last years, but I would say we were probably one of the first funds to introduce this scheme or a product within the fund. So the most of our membership within the fund, they are on the lower income scale. So what we want to give these members is a different way of contributing. So rather than just saying, try and save up a bit more and put it towards your superannuation from your savings, we'll also give you another avenue, which is through Super, which is where you can shop, and whatever rewards you get through the shopping experience, we'll invest it on behalf of you. So you don't have to do anything. All you have to do is be a member of Guild Super or Super, and you get access to this really cool platform where you can do, basically we've got so many different retailers on there. We've got all your not just online shops, but you can do your grocery shopping, you can buy movie tickets, you can, there's plenty of different options, and all of that, there's a percentage attached to it. So for example, say you shop $100 at your local grocer, 5% of it, so $5 every time you shop, when you buy the voucher, will then go towards your super. And so, those little amounts, you might not feel it's like a lot, but it ends up sort of contributing towards your retirement without you having to work extra hard. So that's the concept of Super Super, which has been really well received, here and globally as well.
Which is revolutionary. I mean, who would have thought that such a product can actually exist in the market? Krupa, sometime, correct me if I'm wrong, if I think it's sometime late 2019 or early 2020, you actually got an award, a recognition. Can you tell us more about that award?
Yeah, no, that's feels like back in the day, but when you could travel. So definitely not 2020, 20 late 2019, October
There you go.
2019.
Yep.
So
Mm.
yeah. So we got shortlisted. Guild, when I say we, the Guild Super got shortlisted for a category within innovation within the World Pension Summit. So again, you got delegates from all over the world, from South America, North America, Asia, Africa, you name it. There was tons of people there. So we won two awards, which was fantastic. So the first one was where the it's where the panelists decide what's the best product for innovation within the communications category, and I think we beat. I can't remember who the two runners up was, but one was from Chile, so we beat them. And the other one was where I had to do a small presentation. Now, mind you, I was really nervous. I hadn't done that in front of staff, people I didn't know. But yeah, so the other one we won was public vote. So that was a really fantastic opportunity. Really happy that I was able to go on behalf of Guild, of course. Not taking credit for designing the product, but I was just really happy to be able to represent and celebrate such a good achievement.
You must be very proud. I wasn't able to congratulate you in person.
No
So
worries, Jeff.
I'll take this opportunity to congratulate you now. That's really a great
Thank
achievement.
you.
You guys must be
Thank
very
you.
proud. Very
No,
well
lovely
deserved.
trophies sitting there. So I think Greg is happy. So and
Mm.
Mario, of course.
Yeah, you made the whole of Guild proud. Congratulations.
No,
Krupa, were
thank
there
you.
any people in your professional journey from then until now that were
Yeah.
instrumental to your success, and how did they help you get you to where you are now?
Yeah, actually, I've thought about this. There's, when you think about it and you go, oh, it's been a while since I've been working. So there's a fair few people. So I won't go through a big list, but I think I've had different role models from like various walks in life. So it hasn't been just, you're at a job and you have a person there. Even just with my immediate family, they've been of great support. They've always pushed me to do the best I can do no matter what. So I haven't ever had those barriers a lot of females face around the world. So I feel pretty fortunate that I did have the early barriers where I was restricted by gender as to what I could or couldn't achieve. So very thankful to my family for that. And then a couple of really great managers over my working life who made sure they saw potential and really took a chance on me by giving me certain projects which might have been out of my depth, and at the time felt like a really steep learning curve where you go, oh my god, I'm going to drown. I don't know how I'm going to finish this or succeed. But just really being able to support me through that, and also just mentors who I have reached out through either personal connections or people I've worked with in previous previous jobs who've really encouraged me to stretch myself in certain areas and grow or obtain knowledge in the areas I wasn't familiar with. So I would broadly say, those sort of three categories, family, a couple of great managers, and ongoing mentorship. And I think I still was thinking what would be a pivotal moment for me. And I think when I was at AXA, my first job again, taking it back to my first job, I had a few trainers and managers who came out from Australia to India. And I remember two in particular who really, I think they really encouraged me right from the start. Super was new. It was not familiar to me, but just really allowed me to build on whatever knowledge I could bring at the time, and really recognize my contribution, even just at a really early point there. I think that was quite a pivotal moment for me because it helped me sort of gain that confidence and have that trust that I could take on additional challenges, which then sort of really helped me throughout my time at AXA. And I think in more recent roles, I've had like great managers, both again male or female. I don't think it's like gender bias there. Who really entrusted me with delivering like important initiatives, but making sure they were supporting me if and when I needed them. So sort of not just say, okay, off you go, you can do your thing, but making sure they gave me enough support when I needed it as well.
Mm. You mentioned earlier, Krupa, that there were some managers who kind of given you stretch goals. At some point you thought you weren't able to, or you're not able to accomplish it and things like that. What kept you going? What made you say, okay, I'll do it, and just stop and cry in the corner, if you get what I mean.
Well, there's plenty of
What made
those.
you think I'm just gonna go on?
Look, I think there's a couple of different things. I think, and I'll talk about it in a second, but I think learning to be resilient, sometimes it's just you just got those tough days, you've got, tough moments. Everyone has it in different aspects. So sometimes you just go, oh, I don't know how I can finish it. But as you go on, um, you realize, oh, it wasn't that hard, or oh, I've gotten through it and I can see the end, right? So I think that really helps as you keep progressing, you see that you're actually progressing. But I think generally what I found with like tough goals or anything where you feel like you're having to stretch, I think making sure you're patient, because that's not a virtue of mine. I'll freely admit sometimes you want to just rush to the end and get a good outcome, but being patient and sort of working through that, I think, is important, and making sure there's consistency. So the days when it's not going to be great, but waking up, showing up for it, being positive, being cheerful, I think that all sort of helps you along the journey.
Mm. What pieces of advice did you get from these people, Krupa, that you find most helpful or relevant to your professional development?
Everyone always has a different point of view, and it's always great to hear something different. But I think a few things which really stuck with me and have really helped me, especially of the last decade, I would say, is one thing is always be you. Like, don't try and imitate and be someone else, or someone, don't try and copy someone else's style. Like, while it's really good to have admiration for influencers or different styles, I think making sure you're comfortable in your own skin is going to be the easiest way for you to showcase your talent, your skill, or be a good leader in general, and achieve your goals really. The other one, again, I think, Jal, you touched on it earlier, the setting yourself stretch goals. So it is really important to set yourself stretch goals, because when you're doing something you're comfortable, you're not also growing. So in order for you to be a continuous, someone who's always learning, I think setting yourself stretch goals is important. So that's something I've learned. So there might be uncomfortable periods, but that's where you kind of learn the most. And I think one which I think was harder for me when I was probably younger, I guess, being female, maybe being ethnically different, and being young in general, just learning how to be assertive, but still making sure you're polite and respectful at the same way. So being able to be firm, be assertive, and still, making sure you've got that line balanced well. That's something which I've learned from a couple of mentors, which I to date really thank them for that.
I think the advice that would resonate well, most especially to our youngsters, would be to remain assertive, but at the same time still be respectful. There's there's quite a lot of very energetic youth going out there on social media right now, who most probably have a point, but they really lose their cool somewhere along the way. So I think remaining respectful at all times is still very good advice. Thank you, Krupa.
No worries.
Now, upon reflection, looking back, all of these mentors that came in along our way, helped us get there and all that. How important were their contributions to your professional development?
Well, I think at the time you think, oh yeah, that's good advice. You take some things on board, but you probably don't really sort of sit down and reflect immediately. But I think over time, I think, the benefit of hindsight has been great. You look back and then you realize, oh, they've actually just shaped my whole view about something, or they challenge you to take on more responsibility. So definitely it's been a key sort of contribution with having good mentors you trust, and taking on that advice and sort of using it. So yeah, I would say it's been a big part of my sort of professional journey.
Well, all right. That's the first part of our conversation with Krupa. I wish we had more time, but we just have to take a short break. When we come back, we'll take questions from social media. So for all of you who are watching us right now from your own homes or on your offices, just type in your questions either on Facebook, LinkedIn, or YouTube. When we come back, we'll go through them, maybe just 3 or 5 questions, and we'll have Krupa respond to all your queries. Again, guys, this is Thought Leaders, brought to you by Enabling Media, Guild Solutions Inc., and Guild Super. We'll be right back after these short messages. Please stay with us.
Thought Leaders with Krupa is brought to you by Guild Solutions Inc. Email us at enablingyou@guildsolutionsinc.com.au to find how we can help augment your business needs. And Enabling Media, enabling content through new media. Email us at makethingshappen@guildsolutionsinc.com.au for your social media and virtual event management needs.
Hi everyone, my name is Nerly and this is Hyperlocal. Since we are on a lockdown, I will just virtually tour you around my hometown, Laurel, Batangas. Laurel is a municipality located some 90 kilometers south of the city. To get here, you'll ride 3 buses from the GSI office in the city. It has a population of close to 40,000. The world's smallest volcano is a stone's throw away from us. In fact, we are one of the most affected towns when the Taal volcano erupted early this year. We are only a few kilometers away from the minor basilica of St. Martin de Tours. Its dimensions, close to 90 meters long and 50 meters wide, makes it the largest church in Asia. From our town going uphill will lead you to the city of Tagaytay. Tagaytay is a bustling city of about 70,000. The city is home to many attractions like the Sky Ranch, Picnic Grove, and the spectacular view of the Taal volcano. Well, that's it for this edition of Hyperlocal. Tune in again next week as Micah tours us around her hometown in Paete, Laguna. Thanks for watching and keep safe.
Sinovac, AstraZeneca, Pfizer. Ano ba ang mga ito? Kailangan ba natin ng bakuna? Marami pong uri ng bakuna, pero ang pangunahing gawain nito ay ang turuan ng ating katawan na labanan ng sakit nang hindi tayo magkaroon ng malubhang karamdaman. Ibig sabihin, kapag nagkaroon tayo ng COVID-19, maaaring maging asymptomatic lamang o walang malalang epekto sa atin. Kapag walang bakuna, hindi alam ng katawan natin kung paano lalabanan ang COVID-19 at maaaring magdulot ng malalang karamdaman lalo na't kung mayroon tayong comorbidities. Ang Sinovac ay gumawa ng bakuna gamit ang mga makaluma ngunit napatunayan ng paraan kung saan pinawawalang bisa ang kakayahan ng virus na makapagdulot ng sakit. Sa pamamagitan nito, nagiging pamilyar sa ating mga white blood cells kung ano ang itsura at forma ng COVID-19 para kung sakaling magkaroon tayo nito, Alam na ng ating katawan kung paano ito lalabanan. Ang AstraZeneca naman ay may ibang pamamaraan. Gumamit ito ng kaparehong virus galing sa ibang source. Sa isang parte ng virus ay may tinatawag na spike protein na nag-iiwan ng impormasyon sa ating katawan para labanan ang naturang sakit. Ang spike protein na ito ay nakapaloob sa bakuna at sa ganitong paraan, natututo ding lumaban ang ating katawan sa COVID-19. Sa makatuwid, ginagaya ng AstraZeneca vaccine ang pagpasok ng COVID-19 sa ating katawan na hindi nagdudulot ng malubhang karamdaman. Ang bakuna naman gawa ng Pfizer ay isang mRNA na bakuna. Ang messenger RNA na bakuna ay hindi nagdadala ng kahit na anong anyo ng virus. At ang tanging dala lamang nito ay mga mensahe o instruksyon upang turuan ang ating katawan na lumaban sa COVID-19. Alinman sa tatlong parang ito ng paggawa ng bakuna ay produkto ng maraming oras at panahon na pinaggugulan ng libu-libong mga doktor at dalubhasa sa mikrobyo sa buong mundo.
Huwag po nating gawing katatawanan ang mga bakunang ito, lalo na ang sumali sa pagkakalat ng maling impormasyon tungkol dito. Ang mga bakunang ito ang susi upang magkaroon ng herd immunity ang ating bansa at muling makabangon ang ating ekonomiya, lalo na ang mga kababayan nating hirap nang makabangon dahil sa kawalan ng hanap buhay. Para sa iba pang impormasyon tungkol sa COVID-19 at sa coronavirus SARS-CoV-2, makipag-ugnayan sa DOH o sa inyong espesyalista.
Thought Leaders with Krupa is brought to you by Guild Solutions Inc. Email us at enablingyou@guildsolutionsinc.com.au to find how we can help augment your business needs. And Enabling Media, enabling content through new media. Email us at makethingshappen@guildsolutionsinc.com.au for your social media and virtual event management needs. We're back. We surely learned a lot from Krupa as she gave us a brief background about her impressive career. She also provided a little introduction to superannuation, and most importantly, she imparted important tips and on how to become resilient, setting goals, and being assertive. Now, also, our request portal is open for our viewers in the Philippines. If who would like to request a certificate of attendance, just go to bit.ly/GSI request and enter the information requested by the form. So now let's say hi to our viewers. Hello to our viewers from Facebook, Miss Winnie Soriano, J.R. Rosette, and also a shout out to Miss Aya Akame and her comment. That's correct. We should not copy someone else. Let's just be ourselves. Set goals so that you will know what you wanted to achieve, and if you fail, rise up and try again. And now I think we have interesting questions from our viewers and moderators. Are you ready for them, Krupa?
Yes, most definitely. Thank you for the lovely comment before as well.
Okay, for the first question, um, how can we increase the resilience of our employees?
Great. I did like to bring up a slide earlier. Sorry, I ran out of time. And Jel, feel free to send this across as well. So I think there's a fair few things staff can do for themselves, but making sure they're thinking about accepting change, because as a part of resilience is that you have to be adaptable and flexible. So making sure you can adopt change quickly, making sure you're thinking about always learning something new, which will help you broaden your perspective. Making sure you're thinking about um, making time for reflection. So there's going to be periods in your life or through your working day where things might not go according to plan. So taking time, quiet time to reflect on conversations or what you could have done better, so it makes you more resilient for the next time. Making sure again you're cultivating more broad relationships. So again, not sometimes you can focus on something which is going wrong and you can get too tunnel visioned about it. So if you've got, a wider network of people, you get more perspective as well. So ensuring you've got broader relationships, and also making sure you've got other interests outside of work. So, whether that's taking up gardening, or I'm just making that up, but, whether you want to run or you love to cook, making sure you've got other sort of interests outside of work, I think is important. So it gives you broader perspectives and makes you more resilient.
Mhm. Thank you. Another question from Eds. With the recent changes we are encountering, how can we increase employee resilience and maintain work-life balance?
Well, that's a tricky one, isn't it? Because we're all sort of living at work, so to speak, because we're always at home. So I think for me, what has worked personally is setting those boundaries between work and sort of personal life is important. So whether in the morning you go out and grab a coffee, that works for me. So you feel like you're coming into work, even if it's at home. And in the evening, making sure you've got other activities planned as well. So whether that's even just having a phone call with somebody, a friend or family, or going out for a run, or doing something after work. So making sure you shut your laptop, not always having it open. So just gives you that a bit more of where you're actually switching off from work and doing life, even though we're kind of stuck at home. And more so for you guys, because I know it's been a long 1 year where you've been working remotely.
Well, all
Yes.
right. As much as we wanted to entertain more questions from social media, we've ran out of time. Malin, thank you for moderating today's show.
Yes, thank
We'll come
you.
back to
Thank
you.
you,
We'll come,
Krupa.
we'll come back to you later, Malin. Krupa, women have been fighting for their rights, equality, equal pay, many others for a long time now. What have you, do you think, as a woman, um, as a woman of great achievement, can say to all our women viewers right now to inspire them to to choose to challenge?
Choose a challenge. It's a very, very good way to end the show, I guess, and then the talk, Gel. I would say, like I said before, always be you, unashamedly you. Don't feel like because you're female you have to be different, or you have, shortcomings as such. It's just a different perspective. So making sure that you are comfortable, and that you're able to express what you feel in your own way. And also to all of my male colleagues, making sure you're championing women, and making sure giving them opportunities. And sometimes you find women can be more harsh on themselves, like in terms of you can be your own worst critic. So encouraging women to take that extra challenge when they feel that they can't do it. So making sure you push each other along. But yeah, you're worth it, women. You can do whatever you put your mind to. So that's why I would leave that to.
Krupa, it's been a pleasure having you on the show. Hope you enjoyed your time with us as much as we enjoyed having you here. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you for the opportunity, and great to meet you all. Thank you. See you then. Bye. Have a lovely day.
Bye, Krupa. Thank you.
Bye.
Again, thanks to Krupa for joining us today. Next week, this show will be made available as a podcast on our official channel on Spotify. On behalf of our team, our director and executive producer, Sam Sotare, today's social media host, Malin Ebias, and our moderators, Kim, Micah, Pancho. My name is Jel, and this is Enabling Media, enabling content through new media. We'll see you again on March 25th, same time, as we speak to Nadine McMahon, our digital workplace manager, and she'll show us the tools that enabled companies like Guild to adapt to today's ways of working. Once again, thanks to all of you. Thanks for joining, and you all have a lovely morning to all of us in Asia, a lovely afternoon for all of you in Australia, and for viewers in North America, good evening to all of you. Thank you. Maraming salamat po.
Thought Leaders with Krupa is brought to you by Guild Solutions Inc. Email us at enablingyou@guildsolutionsinc.com.au to find how we can help augment your business needs. And Enabling Media, enabling content through new media. Email us at makethinghappen@guildsolutionsinc.com.au for your social media and virtual event management needs. Catch this show next week as a podcast on Spotify. Follow us on our Facebook, YouTube, and LinkedIn accounts for more learning events, features, and job opportunities. For comments and suggestions, email us at makethingshappen@guildsolutionsinc.com.au.